I'm gonna make one of my favorite holiday breakfasts today. This is a spiced apple cranberry breakfast bake. And I'm going to be baking it in a 9x13 pan, which ends up being 4 very large servings of breakfast. So if you don't eat as much as I do, that's fine. You can make those smaller. But just know that that's how I do it. It makes 4 servings. And I am making this because I'm going to be taking it on my Thanksgiving trip so that I have breakfast prepared and ready to go for all 4 days. And I do this a lot when I'm traveling. I'll just make one of these up before I go, and then I have these little bento boxes that are the perfect size for 1/4 of a 9x13 pan. So I just put these in my freezer. I'm baking this up a week before I'm leaving. So I'm gonna put these in the freezer today, and then before we leave, I'll just pull those out of the freezer, and then my breakfasts are ready to go for my whole entire trip, and I can just focus on enjoying time with family. So, that being said, we're gonna start with, I've got a 9x13 pan that is sprayed with just a little bit of pan spray, and my oven is heating up to 375 degrees. I'm gonna start with some banana, and I'm gonna mash it up. And this is gonna add the sweetness to the dish, along with the apples and the cranberries. So I'm gonna do two bananas. If you wanted to weigh this out, that would be 12 ounces, because it would be 3 ounces per serving. So if you wanted to do just 1 serving and just try it, see how it is, that would be 3 ounces of banana, or half of a large banana, or 1 small banana, however you choose to measure it. I would like to say though, I thought it was a little bit crazy when I first decided to try weighing and measuring my food. I thought there's no way this is gonna last. I'm gonna hate it. And now, more than 3 years later, I am still weighing and measuring my food, and I absolutely love it. One, I love it because I know that I'm getting exactly what I need, and it quiets down the addictive part of my brain, because it's like, I already know that I have exactly what I need because I weighed it all out and measured it. I saw it. It was exactly what I need. But the other thing is that you don't use as many dishes when you're cooking, because you don't have to pull out any of the measuring cups or spoons. You're just pouring things into the bowl, which is really awesome. Okay, so you just got the banana mashed up. And if you don't like bananas, you might be surprised because you're not actually going to taste them in the dish. This is just going to sweeten things up, but it doesn't taste like bananas. So just so you know, if you're not a banana lover, you might want to just give it a try anyway. Okay, so now I've got my scale out. I'm gonna hit tare, zero it out, and I'm gonna add, this is just egg. This is an egg substitute made from plants. It's actually made from mung beans. And I love using this in the breakfast bake because it bakes up really well, just like eggs would. It helps, it's just what like binds everything together in the breakfast bake. I don't always like to use something that's processed though. So like, even though this is plant-based, it is still processed, and so I don't eat it a whole lot. But just for the sake of getting me out the door and on my trip quickly, I'm gonna use it today just so you can see for simplicity's sake. However, if you didn't want to use just egg, there are also some powdered egg and egg replacements that you can use, and I believe it's like a tablespoon of that per 3 tablespoons of water makes 1 egg. And so what I'm going to be doing is essentially 2 eggs per serving. So there would be like 8 eggs if I were using egg. There would be 8 eggs in this. Also, you can use a ground flaxseed or ground chia seed, and again, you would just use a tablespoon of those to 3 tablespoons of water, and you would want to let those sit for a good 15 minutes before you would add those in. But it would be a tablespoon of chia or flax seed to 3 tablespoons of water would be 1 egg. So you would need 8 of those. So those are something else you can use. Also, you can use silken tofu. Silken tofu works really well as an egg replacement in baked items. You want to make sure it's the silken tofu, because then it will blend into everything, and you don't taste the tofu. It's just, again, it's a binder. It acts as a binder. So that's something else that you could also use if you wanted to do that. So for this whole recipe, you would want to use a 16-ounce block of tofu, so you would have 4 ounces per serving. I'm going to use the entire bottle of just egg, which would be the equivalent of 8 eggs. The serving is 3 ounces, so it'd be about 1.5 ounces per egg. So that's another reason I like to use this, because it's the perfect amount for 4 servings of my breakfast bake. Okay, so I'm going to just mix the bananas and the just egg, or whatever egg substitute you are using. Okay, now I'm going to add some flaxseed. Now, just to note, if you are currently working on weight loss, then you wouldn't want to add the flaxseed and the pecans, or you could just do the flaxseed in place of the just egg and just have that be your egg replacement, which would be fine too. But currently I'm on maintenance and I have 2 full servings of protein with my breakfast, so that's why there's a lot of protein in this, just because I have a lot of protein in my breakfast. So again, if you are in weight loss, then you could leave out the flax and the nuts, or leave out the egg replacement and just use the flax. So, and it tastes good either way. I used to do the same thing when I was losing weight, just without all of the extra. So from this 4 servings, I'm going to add 4 ounces of flax, so that's 1 ounce per serving. And if you don't like using the scale, I haven't sold you on it yet, that would be about 1 cup of flaxseed, ground flaxseed. And I do buy my flaxseed in bulk. And then I have a little coffee grinder that I bought for about 13 bucks, probably the best $13 I've ever spent. And I just grind up my flaxseed probably once a week or once every other week, and just keep it in a jar in the fridge. All right, so we got 4 ounces of flaxseed mixed in. Next, we're gonna add 4 ounces of pecans. You could add any nuts you wanted to, or if you don't like nuts, you don't have to put the nuts in. Or like I said, if you're in weight loss, then you wouldn't want to put the nuts in. Okay, but I have already measured out my pecans. This is 4 ounces, and again, this is also about 1 cup of pecans if you're using that measuring system. This is not only a great breakfast for a holiday, because it's a little extra special, but it's just good any time. And you can also swap out the fruit for other things as well. Whatever fruits are in season, you can throw those in. Any of them are good. You still use the banana in it, regardless of what other fruits you might be using, just because again the banana adds extra sweetness to it. Since I don't use any kind of sweetener, fruit is it. And I do like my breakfast just a little bit sweet. Okay, so we got chocolate. Could also be just cooked oats, or any grain you want to put in. I've used millet in this, I've used brown rice, I've used cooked 9-grain cereal. If you are going to do cooked, then you would want to put in, it would be 24 ounces total, or 6 ounces per serving. But being that I'm using a dry grain, this is going to be 1.5 ounces per serving, or 6 ounces total, which ends up being about 2 cups. Another reason that I like to use the scale is that then you get the exact same amount every time and your recipe turns out perfect every time you make it. I have found that with these breakfast bakes, it is better to use the quick oats or even some old-fashioned oats as opposed to a grain that is already cooked, because it does help soak up some of the moisture and just does help with the binding a little bit more. Okay, and now we've got our spiced apples and cranberries that are already made. We're going to measure in 12 ounces of those, and that, if you're not using a scale, that would be about a cup and a half. And this is what is really going to add that special touch to this breakfast. This has got pumpkin pie spice in it, you've got apples and cranberries and the flavor of orange. Really yummy. This has just made a nice thick batter. Just going to make sure everything is mixed together really well. Place it into a 9x13 pan. Spread it around, and then we'll bake this at 375 for about 45 minutes. Want to bake it until everything is set really well, and the edges will even start to pull away from the side of the pan just a little bit when it's all done. I just want to spread it in evenly. Alright, so we'll pop that in the oven and then we'll see how it comes out. So here we go. It is all baked and ready to go. Delicious.